have never seen in my lifetime or in modern political history any presidential candidate trying to discredit the elections and the election process before votes have even taken place. It's unprecedented. It happens to be based on no facts. Every expert, regardless of political party, regardless of ideology, conservative or liberal, who has ever examined these issues in a serious way will tell you that instances of significant voter fraud are not to be found, that, keep in mind, elections are run by state and local officials, which means that there are places like Florida, for example, where you've got a Republican governor who's a Republican appointees are going to be running and monitoring a whole bunch of these election sites. The notion that somehow if Mr. Trump loses Florida, it's because of those people that you have to watch out for, that is both irresponsible and, by the way, doesn't really show the kind of leadership and toughness that you'd want out of a president. If you start whining before the game's even over, if whenever things are going badly for you and you lose, you start blaming somebody else, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job. I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining.
It certainly does suck.
This is not just about sex. This is about a president of the United States that on numerous occasions has lied under oath. There's a strategy by Bill Clinton and his allies to demonize anybody who gets in their way. It's everybody else's fault, and everybody else is to blame, everybody except Bill Clinton, except the president.
How with a straight face can you say that this group of Democrat partisans are unbiased and will give President Trump a fair shake?
What you have lived through for 2.5 long years is the most systematic, deliberate obstruction of justice, cover-up, an effort to avoid the truth we have ever seen in American history.
Technically, the President of the United States cannot obstruct justice. The President of the United States is the Chief Executive Officer of the United States. If he wants to fire the FBI director, all he's going to do is fire him.
The time has come to say to the Democrats and to say to the President, quit undermining the law in the United States.
The President of the United States tried to obstruct justice by perpetuating fraudulent testimony.
So he's concluded, I think rightly, there's no obstruction of justice here. To think otherwise really is silly.
I get along with everybody.
Donald Trump attacked General Motors this morning.
Trump attacking John Lewis on Twitter.
Donald Trump attacking BuzzFeed.
Trump attacked the press.
This Schwarzenegger tweet, is this really from Donald Trump 28 seconds ago?
Donald Trump is taunting Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And Trump this morning going after Meryl Streep.
President Trump attacked Nordstrom.
President Trump
attacked the judiciary.
Why is the president picking a fight with Australia?
He attacked the press.
He's attacking the FBI.
Attacking the Freedom Caucus.
Attacking President Obama.
The president picking a fight with Canada. Trump attacked Blumenthal's military record.
The president also attacked CNN anchors.
He seems to be attacking the Justice Department.
Attacking Comey.
Attacking one Elizabeth Warren.
Why is he picking a fight with London's mayor right after a terror attack?
The president attacking Rod Rosenstein.
The president on Twitter has attacked CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, the New York Times, and the Washington Post.
President Trump picking a fight with Jeff Sessions.
He attacked cable host Mika Brzezinski. Attacking Hillary Clinton.
President Trump has been accused of inciting attacks against journalists.
President Trump attacking Amazon this morning.
Donald Trump attacked Arizona Senator John McCain last night in Arizona.
The president also attacking Senator Jeff Flake. President Trump personally attacked Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
It's basically like picking a fight with the bouncer when you're trying to get into the club. You start that kind of beef, you're probably not getting into the club.
President Trump is attacking the mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico.
President Trump attacked the NFL protest. Attacking Steph Curry this morning. President Trump has attacked Rex Tillerson.
President Trump attacked the Congresswoman Frederica Wilson.
The good news from today may have been that the president did not attack a Gold Star widow. He did attack a fellow Republican and the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Bob Corker of Tennessee.
Meanwhile, President Trump back on Twitter this morning and on the attack.
Attacking Theresa May. Attacking CNN International.
Attacked Senator Schumer and Congresswoman Pelosi.
He's really picked a fight with LeVar Ball.
I get along with everybody, remember?
Poor me. Trump whines about being all alone during Twitter rant attacking Dems. Donald Trump is spending Christmas Eve by himself and he's blaming Democrats for the government shutdown despite it being his fault for wanting a border wall and stopping at nothing to get it. During a Twitter rant on Monday, Trump whined about being all alone because Democrats don't want to give him funds for his proposed wall. Trump tweeted saying, "I am all alone, poor me, in the White House waiting for the Democrats to come back and make a deal on desperately needed border security. At some point the Democrats not wanting to make a deal will cost our country more money than the border wall we are all talking about. Crazy. I am all alone, poor me, in the White House waiting for the Democrats to come back and make a deal on desperately needed border security. At some point the Democrats not wanting to make a deal will cost our country more money than the border wall we are all talking about. Crazy. But maybe Trump should stop tweeting if he doesn't want to continue being the laughing stock of the internet." Here are some of the most hilarious responses Trump got for complaining about his loneliness. "You are alone in the White House because your ego outweighs your desire to do what's right for America. While you are alone in a mansion, there are 800,000 Americans not being paid this Christmas, you out of touch baby. There's hundreds of thousands homeless veterans on the street. But poor me. Even your own family abandoned you on Christmas because they would rather be in sunny Florida than by your side. How appropriate. All alone? So I guess you're blasting Fox News over all the speakers." President Nixon took solace in the paintings of past presidents. They talked into the wee hours. And remember, Hannity is just a burner phone call away. Jump on Air Force One and go visit the troops in Afghanistan. Why don't you go visit the active duty personnel that are stuck on duty at Joint Base Andrews, and you'll find they've done this multiple times. This would be the first sacrifice you've ever made. Let's hope he's visited by three spirits tonight. For a deal maker, you seem to have trouble understanding that in order to make a deal, you need to be talking to the other side. And with your history of trying to make life like a TV show, will he sign or not? Tune in tomorrow. Why should they trust you? We all are laughing at the fact that you're all alone, poor you, this Christmas Eve. As the markets collapse, and the government is shut down due to your inability to make a deal, it's great knowing you are all alone with no one by your side. The only thing lower than your self-esteem is the Dow.
got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said.
My name is Donald Trump, and I'm running for president.
Not only did I write a book entitled Crippled America, but I also make fun of crippled Americans. And I'll sign either one.
You know that awful rich kid in elementary school who you only talk to because they have the best room and the best video games? That's me, and I'm running for president now.
I switched political parties more than 3 times, which is how many times I've switched wives.
I used to be respected in the business community, but now people would rather go through months of lawsuits than to work with me.
Thank God for the bankruptcy law. I can take advantage of them without having to learn how to run sustainable companies.
If I offend you, get out of my country. But if you offend me, I'll demand an apology. I'm just like extremely hypocritical in that way.
Money can't buy you love. That's something I've learned.
I have surrounded myself with yes men to the extent that I no longer know what's good and bad.
I don't let myself get weighed down by what's true. Thousands of people celebrated 9/11 in New Jersey, and I shot the Loch Ness Monster. He f***ed me in a land deal.
Have I mentioned I'm racist?
You hear about this Jesus guy? I feel bad for him. He was always looking to help the poor. I mean, it's why I'm not religious. Unless I have to be for political campaigns.
If you disagree with me, shut up. But if you disagree with me, shut up. Yeah, that's right.
Remember how I was wrong about Obama's birth certificate?
Fox and friends are my only friends.
The only way I know how to deal with others' opinions is to remove them from my campaign events.
I'm the grandson of an immigrant, so I guess that means my grandfather is a rapist and a drug dealer and a criminal. I miss my pappy.
Knock knock, who's there? Orange. Orange who? Aren't you glad to see me?
A lot of people say they don't like me, and that's okay. My own father didn't like me. He gave me a $1 million loan just to get out of the house.
I said, hey, I can figure this out. Everything he said was factual. He's frustrated his nominee has been treated so badly.
Factual is a personal degrading attack on someone who is a private citizen.
You know, here's what's personally degrading. This is what you get when you go through a trailer park with a $100 bill. You see, this is not the first time this has happened.
That's actually a reference to something somebody said.
In James Carville. See, most of y'all are too young to remember this. The bottom line is, I know what can happen to a woman who comes forward in a political environment. Dr. Ford, I thought, was treated respectfully by Miss Mitchell. I'm glad she did it. She was boring. Boring's okay. Sometimes people are accused of something they didn't do. So President Trump went through a factual rendition that I didn't particularly like, and I would tell him, knock it off. You're not helping. But it can be worse. You can actually kill somebody's cat and puncture their tires to get them to shut up. So, you know, what he said.
I don't even understand what that means.
Well, you don't remember Kathleen Willey and Juanita Broderick, so you don't. I do.
Well, I don't remember the thing about the cat. But what's the point?
Well,
The point is that Donald Trump could have said something even worse, so we should be thankful.
The point is that we've come a long way. We've come a long way since 1990.
All right, it's fine. It's fine.
No, wait a minute. Whether you like it or not, I really don't care.
Doesn't matter because now they see in the call there was no quid pro quo.
But to be clear, what you just described is a quid pro quo.
We do that all the time with foreign policy.
There was no quid pro quo. Quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo, it's a favor or advantage granted or expected in return for something. Quid pro quo is actually a legal term, generally accepted to mean a deal. I'm going to give you something in exchange for something else.
In other words, you're going to do this or you're not going to get money.
A quid pro quo might be a red herring in this debate about whether Trump should get impeached because there doesn't have to be evidence of a quid pro quo for him to get impeached. Some of what he's accused of may rise to the level of other crimes. For example, did he have a campaign finance violation by asking Ukraine's president to help out his election? Was he soliciting foreign interference in an election? That could also be illegal. The Constitution left it up to Congress to decide what standard a president should meet to get kicked out of office.
The campaign to impeach President Trump has begun.
It's not that a quid pro quo is subjective, even though you hear Democrats come out of the impeachment inquiry hearings and say,
things have just gone from very, very bad to much, much worse.
And you hear Republicans come out and say,
I've been in there for 10 hours. I can assure you there was no quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo is just really hard to prove. That's because so rarely does somebody say, do this for me, and I'll do this for you.
To be clear, what you just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happens as well.
We do that all the time.
To have a quid pro quo doesn't mean you have to succeed in getting the deal done. Legal experts I spoke to say it doesn't matter that those two puzzle pieces didn't connect. If you tried to make a quid pro quo, that's enough in a court of law.
Now that's what you call quid pro quo.